Here we go. Welcome to the Man Hour NFL Talk, home for live, raw, uncut NFL coverage. I'm glad you're rolling with us tonight, guys. Before we jump in, go ahead and head over to manhourradio.com. That's where you'll find exclusive merch, fresh blogs, and everything happening with the show. If you're rocking with the Man Hour, that's the spot to rep it, all right? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a show. That's your easiest way to stay plugged in with us. I want to ask you a question. You want the full experience? Go ahead and become a Pigskin Pundit. Our members-only community, you'll get free entry into NFL weekly pick'ems, giveaways, and exclusive merch, bonus live streams only for the pundits. If you're all about that next level access, join the squad. And remember, this is a live, interactive show. Go ahead, drop your thoughts, opinions, and hot takes down below in the comments. I want to hear from you. So without further ado, Man Hour Nation, it's good to be here with you guys tonight. Let's jump into a show that's packed full of goodies, all right? Let's jump right into it, starting off with the one, the only, Green Bay Packers. You already know. Buck got to talk about his Chiefs yesterday. RIP to Patty Mahomes. CJ Stroud got that dub. Mello, I don't know if you're here, baby, but you got that dub. I don't know if you and Buck put a bet down on the game, but you definitely should have. It was an ugly game for the Chiefs, but Buck got to talk about them a little bit last time, okay? So let's jump right in and talk about the Packers, all right? I'm about to plant my flag so deep in Lambeau Field turf, you hear the crunching sound in Chicago, all right? That's just, it is what it is, all right? It is what it is. My opening statement is simple. And it's absolute. Hear me out. The Green Bay Packers are winning out. They're going 13-3-1, and they're taking the NFC North. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, Shay, slow it down. Slow it down. Just last week, you was talking about the Packers was going to be second in the division to the Bears. Yeah, you're right. And we can look at the game this week, and I'm on all the NFC Trash Talk page, all right? All of them. And I see the comments, man. I sat back like this all week. And I smirked, and I smiled because at the end of the day, all I did was watch Bears fans just freak out. They were like, "Oh, we're about to go whoop the Packers. Like, this is our year. Like, y'all remember what we did last year? We beat the Packers last game of the season. Like, this is it. Y'all better be ready. It's on Green Bay." And I watched all week as Matt LaFleur sat back and he took questions from the media. Hey, you remember Ben Johnson when he got hired on in Chicago? He said that he really loved beating Matt LaFleur twice a year when he was over in Detroit all the time and blah, 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 and this and that. And do you take that into consideration when you're going into this game? And I love Matt LaFleur's response. He said, no, I don't think about it. It's just another game. It's a division rival. But we all know deep down inside what he was thinking. I got to go up there and I got to whoop on that. We knew what he was thinking. We knew what was happening, but I sat back and I watched, okay? I watched because I wanted to see what was going to happen. And I watched, and for the first 3 quarters, like, oh, man, this is going to get ugly fast. We went up by like 2 or 3 touchdowns. I'm sitting there going, this is it. This is how it's going to be. Like, I was really hoping that we would have a closer division game moving forward with Caleb Williams taking the helm and Ben Johnson. But, we're not going to be there. Then as we got in the fourth quarter, I was like, snap. The Packers about to blow this lead. And we got down to the final few plays. It was tied up 21-21. Packers go down the field and they score big. All right? They score big. It's now 28-27. Or 28-21, excuse me. I'm sitting there going, man, the years past, I'd want the offense on the field, but this year I think I'm taking defense all day. We get there. There's a couple broken coverages in the backfield. There's some soft zones. And I'm sitting there going, man, they're just driving down the field. We're about to go into OT with this dude. And then I'm thinking, maybe we won't go into OT because Ben Johnson's an offensive genius, or so I thought. And he may go for 2. He may opt to go for 2 and get that thing done. Well, lo and behold, they're about to do this play. They're in the red zone. Boom, timeout. Green Bay calls timeout. They talk some things over. Next play, Caleb Williams rolls out to the left. He's being pressured. He throws to the left, dumps it off to what we thought was going to be a touchdown, but nah, my boy that I dog on all the time, Keyshawn Nixon, K9, came up clutch, got that pick, game sealed, signed, delivered. Y'all, this isn't just about a hot streak. This is about a team whose identity is finally crystallizing at the perfect moment. Forget the early season hiccups. Forget the injuries. This is the team Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst envisioned. They're playing with confidence of a Super Bowl contender. So let's talk about it, all right? Let's jump in. Jordan Love's taking a leap, y'all. It all starts with the quarterback, and our quarterback one is Jordan freaking Love, the dude, the man, the myth, the legend, J. Love. Look at the numbers over last month. Jordan Love isn't just playing like a franchise quarterback. He is playing like a top 5 quarterback up in the ranks of MVP right now. He is climbing the league ranks in every meaningful efficiency stat. QBR, adjusted EPA, play touchdown rate, and crucially, his turnover margin is freaking fantastic. The Packers have the lowest giveaway total in the league, and I was a little worried about that as we went into last week. All right, I ain't going to lie to you. I was a little worried about that as we moved into last week. In one of the first drives, he threw a freaking pick, and there wasn't nobody in green and gold nearby. And I thought, oh, my gosh, here we go again. But he held strong. He had one of his best performances, 3-touchdown game. The Packers have the lowest giveaway total still in the league. You can find that kind of efficiency with a gunslinger mentality, and you have an unstoppable force. Here's the deal. Jordan Love is locked in. And when a young quarterback gains that kind of confidence, especially late in the year, whoo, he's untouchable. This offensive line is keeping my boy clean. He's the best quarterback in the league against blitz pressure. Oh, and did I mention, chat, real thing right here, did I mention he's playing during Toyotathon? If you didn't know about Toyotathon, go ahead and Google that for yourself. They do great deals on Toyotas, all right? Big deal, whoop-de-doo. But it's in these months of mid-November through January where for some reason Jordan Love in his career as a starter has just turned it on. And let me tell you how. In the months of Toyotathon in his career, Jordan Love has thrown 2 picks. In the other months that he's played football in his career, 23. He's had a passer rating in the months of Toyotathon of 110%. All right? In the other months when Toyotathon's not running, 83. A completion percentage in Toyotathon of 67%. In the months that it's not running, 63. Yards per average during Toyotathon, 8.1 per pass. Without Toyotathon, 7.1. This man is clicking. Oh, and it's going to be crazy. Gonna be crazy. Pair that with a juggernaut defense. All right, that's the other half of this equation. Green Bay is top 10 in scoring defense and top 5 in total defense, baby. And who is leading the charge? Micah freaking Parsons, who can't get a holding call to save his life. Can't get a holding call to save this man's life, all right? He's disrupting everything. The defense is built around elite pressure, and that started with Rashawn Gary, and now we got Micah Parsons. That line is crazy. The ball-hawking secondary is unmatched. The Bears head coach admitted the Packers defense might be the best they've seen all year. And guess what? When it came down to the fourth quarter last drive, boom! Interception. They are limiting explosive plays and making teams earn every single yard. All right? In December, when the passing windows shrink, the defense becomes downright terrifying. They only allow 19 points on average per game right now. And it's setting them up down the stretch. Everybody wants to talk about Gibbs and how you can't run at Micah Parsons. Guess what? They shut that boy down. Not once, twice. They want to talk about DeAndre Swift and Monangai and this leading rushing offense. Guess what? They shut them down. Put that game in Caleb Williams' hands, and what happens? He chokes. Dub for the Packers. So let's look at the remaining road. Let's look at the remaining road for the Packers, because I'm telling you, they're winning out. I'm telling you, I'm singing a different tune than last week, because what my Packers showed me is grit. What my Packers showed me is we're going to go out there and get the job done. What my Packers showed me is now we got Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, Luke Musgraves, Josh Jacobs, and the list goes on and on and on. Oh, did I forget Matthew Golden in there too? But the remaining schedule is this. Week 15 this week at Denver. The Broncos are tough, don't get me wrong, but they're a defensive team with a lot of offensive question marks, all right? The Packers' defense is better, and they have a much more established offense. Go ahead, give me that dub, all right? Then we travel to Soldier Field, which I originally gave to the Bears because I like Ben Johnson. I think he's a good coach, all right? I think he's a good coach. But at the end of the day, I like Matt LaFleur better. I watched Matt LaFleur go to shake this man's hand so fast, I don't even think their hands touched after the game. He's like, all right, we ain't done. He even said it in his presser. He said, we're going to see them again in a couple of weeks. They're locked in. They're ready to go. Yes, the Bears have to play again. And it's on the road, but the Packers got the mental edge, baby. They just whooped them. Okay, I should say whoop them. They whooped them for 3 quarters, all right? Then the Bears started creeping back in. They know they can win. This game is for all the chips in the NFC North, and the pressure is on the Bears at Soldier Field. Guess what? We don't just sweep the Lions. We sweep in the Bears. And when we do that in 2 weeks, when I get up on this podcast, you're going to see me carrying a broom, baby. You're going to see me carrying a broom because at the end of the day, we sweep in the division. We sweep in the division, all right? We're going to talk a little more about that. Week 17 versus Baltimore. It's a big one, baby. Lamar is Lamar. Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry. Kyle Hamilton, he's that dude. Harbaugh, great coach, all right? But where's it played? In the frozen tundra at Lambeau Field. Green Bay is nearly unbeatable at home in the cold. Their defense versus Lamar Jackson, that's a battle I trust the Packers to win this season. Give me the dub. And then we finish up the season at Minnesota. The final week, potentially for playoff positions. The Vikings are fading fast. The Packers will be playing for the momentum of a 3-game winning streak, which when you actually pair that with the 5 we've got, that's an 8-game, 9-game dub. But, I'm a fan. I'm hopeful. Let me tell you. Let me hear from you, Man Our Nation. I want to hear in the comments, what do you think? Are the Packers winning out, or you think I'm just being crazy? Let's see. Drop your comments in the chat below. Subscribe. Hit that like button. And remember, we are live, baby, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/Man Hour. Go ahead, join that conversation. It's a live, interactive show. Let's go. Buck says, same Chiefs you said was going out. I did. I can't be right all the time. I can't. If I was right all the time, they wouldn't have me on this podcast, baby. I'd be in New York Sunday mornings. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have me here. But I'm not right all the time. So you will have me here, and I appreciate you for that. Pounding your chest because you beat the Bears. Oh, but we's hyping up the Bears, though. I'm only pounding my chest because them Bears fans want to pound their chest. Here's the deal. I will stoop to the level of the Chicago Bears. I will. Because they're some of the worst fans. They're some of the most loyal. Apart from the Raiders, they're some of the most loyal. I'll give them that. But golly, y'all are arrogant. All I heard about all year. Woo, you remember when we whooped you last year? Yes, I remember you won one of those games. You remember one of those games. I got you. Check this out right here. Coach Rowe in the chat. What up, bot? Says Jordan Love is the second most winning quarterback in the month of December behind Patty Mahomes. Well, guess what? Patty Mahomes is done. All right, Patty Mahomes is done. Jim Cole Hauling and Removal says, next. Don't you worry. We are going to get next. We're going to get there. Don't worry about it. He says you want to beat the pack, rush at Parsons. That's what y'all said about the Lions. How'd that work out for him, Jim? It didn't. It didn't. That's what everybody said going into this game about the Bears. And they did. And Kyle Monangai put some hits on some boys. Which, if you remember a few weeks ago, I was talking about up-and-coming running backs. I said, keep your eye out on Kyle Monangai. And he made my favorite Packer right now, Edgerrin Cooper, look like a freaking sock doll. He hit that man so hard, he's still sitting there on Lambeau Field. All right? Run it, Parsons. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't care what you think, man. It's proven. The proof is in the pudding. All right? The proof is in the pudding. Run it, Parsons. See how that's going to work for you. Coach Rose says grit is a Lions thing. Why are the Packers being linked with grit? And why are you a bot, Coach Rose? The world may never know. All right? They may never know. Jim says NFC North is as weak as the SEC right now. Tell me you don't know ball without telling me you don't know ball. This man's crazy. Smoke another, my friend. Smoke another, my friend. Smoke another. All right, man. Let's move on. Let's move on. Don't forget, drop your comments and hot takes in the section below, guys. Because we're here. We're living. We are live, interactive, and we're ready to get going. All right. Let's talk about this next thing. I want to talk about a team that I don't even know if you could say looked bad yesterday. I don't know if that does it justice. The Philadelphia Eagles, the birds are grounded. They're dead. Defeathered. Done. It's bad. Call the authorities because there's a lot of dead eagles all over the place, and we don't know who's killing them. Actually, yes, we do. It's themselves. They're taking themselves out here. Here's the deal. If you're an Eagles fan, go ahead, switch the channel because I am not going to sugarcoat nothing, baby. I am not going to sugarcoat nothing. After their colossal meltdown on Monday night against the Chargers, I'm officially declaring it. Everybody turn up, turn in. The Philadelphia Eagles are D-O-N-E. It's over. It's over, baby. It's over. 3 straight losses. Unacceptable. 3. It's not a slump, y'all. It's not a bad patch. This is a system that is in catastrophic failure for a team that was supposed to be Super Bowl contenders. It's bad. So let's jump right in. Because like I've said before, I'm going to say it again, we always got to have somebody to blame. We always got to have somebody to blame. So who we blaming? Let's start with the top. Let's start with the top guy on the field. Let's start with QB1. That boy Jalen Hurts and how his performance has regressed over and over and over again. Jalen Hurts, what happened to you on Monday night against the Chargers, dog? You had 5 turnovers. My man opened his own bakery and was slinging them. He said apple, cherry, blueberry, don't matter. You name it, we got it. He was slinging the turnovers. He had a pick 6, multiple fumbles. There was one time when he got the ball and then fumbled it again. Oh, my goodness. Goodness gracious. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. It was so disastrous that the Nickelodeon stream that they do of the game with the Monsters, Inc. they did last night, it bugged out. It didn't know what to do. It's like, holy cow, there were so many different turnovers. What do we do? This is inexcusable for a quarterback that's getting paid top-tier money. You cannot be an MVP candidate, dog, one year and then serve up a performance like hot dog water the next. You can't. You can't do it. Here's the decision. His decision-making regressed. His accuracy, inconsistent at best, and he looks rattled. This is crazy. He's not playing with the same confidence. He's not playing with the same controlled aggression that he's done in years past. When your franchise quarterback is playing like a liability, your team has no chance. And right now, my boy Jay Hurts is a liability. With debatably the best offensive line in the league, Jalen Hurts is holding on to that ball way too long, putting his guys in losing situations. When you have wide receiver weapons like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, you got a tight end like Dallas Goedert, and my goodness, you got Saquon Barkley coming out the backfield. You've got to do more. The Eagles are failing, and it starts up front with quarterback 1, dog. But and it's not just there. Nah. I want to go even higher. I want to go even higher, chat, and blame somebody else. It isn't just on Jalen Hurts. It's a complete coaching meltdown from Nick Sirianni and his entire staff. We got offensive stagnation out the wazoo. The play calling is stale, it's predictable, and it's unimaginative. Unimaginative in today's NFL. Teams know exactly what's coming. There's no creativity. There's no adjustments at halftime. It looks like they're running the same 5 plays over and over, and they have arguably, like I said before, the best offensive line in football and elite skill position players, and they look like cheeks. Cheeks, dog. You got 5 plays in your playbook that you're slinging them on Madden, and you can't get the tutties. 5 turnovers. You have offensive stagnation. We got to slow it down. Then we got to look at the defensive side of the ball because your defense is collapsing. Your defense is collapsing. The defense is flat out bad. They can't get off the field on 3rd downs. They can't generate a consistent pass rush. They're giving up massive plays. The DC needs to be on the hottest seat in the NFL. Get his butt out of there, dog. They look confused. They look out of sync. And here's the deal. They look like they quit on the scheme. I talked with the wife all year about watching this team, and she keeps saying the same thing over and over again. And I kind of laughed it off, but she said, Nick needs to have another Britney moment. And the first time she said it, I said, what does that mean? What does that mean? She said, you remember when he shaved his head and went on that Super Bowl run? I said, oh, yeah. She said he needs to look inward, figure out what the heck this team is doing not winning games. When the players stop responding to coaches, let me tell you something. It's over. If there's no respect and the players quit responding to coaches, your team's done, dog. From the top down, you are imploding. The Eagles team, with all their talent, looks like a group that's lost its way, and I'm going to put the blame on the coaches. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. All of this has been written on the walls, y'all. I want y'all, when you watch your next Eagles game, look on the sideline. I want you to forget the X's and the O's for a second. I want you to watch body language. Watch the body language. After every turnover, after every big play by opponent, you see frustration. You see a lot of finger pointing, a lot of this and a lot of that. There's no fire. There's no belief that they can turn it around. They flat out giving up. This used to be a physical, tough, resilient team. Now, they look soft. They look mentally beaten. They were the reigning NFC champions, and now they're crumbling under pressure. And guess what? It's not going to get any easier. The remaining schedule, tough. They got the Raiders. I mean, they're just playing upset at this point. Raiders are. We all know the Raiders ain't nothing. Dog water at best. All right, we've talked about that. No need to go there. They play a banged-up Commanders, who for whatever reason keeps putting JD5 at the helm, and he's going to get actually, he's going to get hurt. They play a good Bills team, a really good Bills team, and the Commanders again. I got them going 2-2. They'll beat the Raiders. They'll beat the Commanders once. They'll lose to the Commanders once, and they will lose to the Bills. Do you honestly trust this team to win 3 of these 4 games? I don't. Not even close. They're going to limp into the playoffs, possibly as a wild card, and they're going to get bounced the first round, dog. The first round. All right. The Super Bowl window for this Eagles team, this coaching staff, and this version of Jalen Hurts is officially, come here, closed. Done. They are toast. And here's why. Jalen Hurts, listen to me. I need y'all to focus in, Philly fans. Jalen Hurts, and I've heard Buck says, he's a glorified, higher paid Justin Fields. Who might call a top 10 quarterback in the league just to get y'all all rattled and pissed off. But he's a Justin Fields quarterback. And they're only going to win 2 more games. But I want to hear from you, Man Our Nation. Do you think the Eagles are done, or do you think they're going to be able to turn this around? Don't forget, subscribe, hit that like button, and remember, we are live Monday through Friday, baby, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/Man Hour. Go ahead, join that conversation. It's a live, interactive show. Put your comments in the section below. Below. Let's see what we got here. Jim Cole says the Eagles are from PA. I'm not a fan, but they're better in the pack just because of that. Hey, I lived in PA for almost 3 years, man. Beautiful state. I lived up in the mountains in Somerset, Pennsylvania, right off the turnpike, and it was gorgeous. It was one of my favorite places to live apart from Tennessee. So if you like a team just because they're from there, I can respect that. No worries. Buck says, is it Hurts or the weak play calling? Both. Yes. Both. There's no this or that. It's both. Jim Cole, like I just said, he says Hurts averaged his way into the Super Bowl. Glorified, overpaid Justin Fields. That's what he is. Put Justin Fields in the Eagles offense. Watch him go to work. I'm being dead serious. They should change the offense, just run it to Barkley. Might as well. That's what the Giants did. They went 2-10. Or 2-15, excuse me. Buck will agree to disagree. He says, DC, defensive coordinator, is the only bright spot. That's coming from a defensive guy, all right? Just shh. It's okay. It's okay, baby. It's okay. If the Eagles' play calling is terrible, maybe the Eagles should hire Matt Canada. Crosby fan, welcome. Welcome to the chat, man. I'm happy you're here, dog. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who Matt Canada is, but cool. Buck says no one will ever hire him again. It's almost like I told y'all this was going to happen. It's just this time they didn't start 10-0. All right. Jim Cole says we all know there's an NFC sophomore slump. No story, nothing to see here. Who's the sophomore slump? NFC's got some really good teams too. So who are we talking about, Jim? Let's talk about this. This is crazy. How crazy is it going to be when the Chiefs and Eagles don't make the playoffs? I was just talking about this with my wife. It's like, we ain't going to see Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs or Saquon and Jalen. Like, dog, that's crazy. That's crazy. He says, who's the sophomore, Jim? That's what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying, Jim. Who in the world is a sophomore? Matt Canada is the Bills OC. Old OC. Buck says, I think he means Super Bowl hangover. Yeah, but the Chiefs got it done. Hell, the Chiefs almost repeated. We don't want to talk about that, do we? We don't want to talk about that, do we? Huh? No Mahomes, Burrow, or Lamar. Yeah, that's crazy. We're hurts. I mean, it's crazy. All right, ladies, gentlemen, people of all ages, I want to move over to the next segment here, man hour of our talk show. And I want to talk about the juggernauts. The juggernauts of the AFC and the NFC. And I know what you're thinking, Jim. Oh, here we go. This guy's going to talk about the Packers again. Actually, I'm not. Jim. Nah, I ain't talking to Packers. Let's dive in. Here's the deal. We're deep into December, and the playoff race has separated the contenders from the pretenders, like the Eagles. But there are a select few who transcend even contender status, and they are what we like to call juggernauts. All right? The team's built to survive January and hoist that Lombardi trophy. So here's the deal. Let's jump into it. We're crowning the kings of the AFC and the NFC through Week 14. All right, let me tell you my AFC juggernaut. My AFC juggernaut here is the Denver Broncos. Let's start with the American Football Conference. For the better part of a decade, this conversation began and ended in KC. Not this year. The undeniable AFC juggernaut is the Denver Broncos. They sit at 11-2. They fought their way to the top spot, earning the conference record tiebreaker over a surging New England team. And they done it with a 9-game winning streak. Dogs. Their defense is winning them a championship. This is one of the core parts of being a juggernaut. Sean Payton and Vance Joseph have forged a top 5 scoring defense that is, the best word I can use is suffocating. All right? When you can hold teams to 18.1 points per game, you always in the game, baby. EA Sports is in the game, dog. And then Bo Nix, my boy Bo. This offense isn't built on flash, but it's on efficiency and that late-game execution. Bo Nix has proven to be the most poised QB in his draft class, protecting the ball, scoring just enough to let the defense close the deal. They are playing complementary football on an elite level. Now, I got to give massive credit and not forget about the New England Patriots. They're sitting at 11-2, and they're Denver's biggest threat. I love their coach, too. Both these teams have coaches I love because the Patriots got Mike Vrabel with a physical, run-heavy attack and a rookie quarterback and Drake May playing at an MVP level. But until someone knocks off this number 1 seed, the Broncos are the team everyone's chasing in the American Football Conference. Point blank, period. Now, let's move over to the NFC North. Just kidding. We are going to move to the NFC, but we're going to look to the West. The top of the conference is a volatile mess of talent with 4 teams, the Rams, the Seahawks, Packers, and the 49ers, all sitting at 9 or 10 wins. But the team with the highest ceiling, the team with the championship pedigree, the team with the numbers to back it up is the one and only Los Angeles Rams. They got offensive firepower at the wazoo. They're an offensive machine, and they got an offensive-minded guru in Sean McVay. They rank in top 4 in both points scored and total yards in the league. When Matt Staff is throwing to Devontae and Puka, there's simply no defense that can shut them down all 4 quarters. Then you look at their turnover differential. Look at the hidden metric of their championship, and it's their turnover margin. It's a sparkling +9. They take the ball away, and they protect it. It's a recipe for success, not just in January, but moving forward throughout the season. And they're controlling the West. They hold the head-to-head tiebreaker over the 10-3 Seattle Seahawks right now, and that is crucial. They're in control of the league's toughest division. Point blank, period. But, I couldn't forget about them. I couldn't forget about my gold, the Green Bay Packers, because they are massive challengers. Massive, baby. Riding a stellar defense and running game, but the sheer proven offensive explosiveness and championship experience of the Rams give them that title. Packers have not shown me that they can just bust it at the seams on an offensive level. All right, so the Rams are going to be my NFC juggernaut. They are my favorite to secure that all-important number 1 seed, but the Packers are right behind. So here's my verdict. In the AFC, we've got the Denver Broncos at the top of the juggernaut, built on an ironclad defense. In the NFC, we got the Los Angeles Rams, who are the top juggernaut built on explosive veteran-led offense. Like, oh my gosh, if I saw a Rams-Broncos Super Bowl with a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense going head-to-head, boys and girls, ladies and gents, these are 2 teams I expect to see making the loudest noise when the calendar flips to the playoffs. But I want to hear from you, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think the NFC and AFC juggernauts are in the NFL? Go ahead, subscribe, hit that like button. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube.com/man-hour. Join the conversation. It's a live, interactive show. What do we got in the comments here, baby? Licklow the Great in the chat. What's good, Licklow? Says, boys hating on Denver because of Knicks, but they really like that. They will be the AFC championship game. Yeah, against the Bills. And the Bills going to whoop that. Buck says, stop. He said, Licklow, stop. Knicks has the worst stats than last year. Jim says the Broncos won't go deep. That's when all them cows need pushed over the Brokeback Mountain Range and Peyton as camp cook. Bro, I've already heard that from you, Jim. I need you to get back to work in the lab and come up with a different comeback because you've used that one before, dog. If you're going to come into this show talking that crap, baby, come with new stuff. Lord forbid we come to the show with new stuff. Can't you come with new stuff, Jim? Come on now. Come on. Buck says he's being carried. I'm guessing you're talking about Bo Nix. Still a dog, though. So without R.J. Harvey, they're 500 at best. Without the best defense in the NFL, they're a 2-win team. They're winning despite Nix. Or they just don't have to use him. I mean, Peyton did it. His last Super Bowl with Denver, he got carried by his defense. We ain't talking about that. Buck said, let me spell it out for you. Nix sucks. Only time can tell. And that's a wild take right there, my friend. He says, give me Sanders over Nix at this point. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Crazy. Licklow says, Rams keep the 1 seed. They going if Seattle get it going. I think that's what I said. Rams said Super Bowl, baby. Buck says, Rams are the real deal. That's why I have them number 1 in the power rankings. I don't even want to start with the power rankings because I get on the comment section in the power rankings, and y'all are some butthurt heifers. Oh, my gosh. Butthurt heifers. Broncos are 1 and done. I hope you kick the sofa. That's hateful. It's hateful. Yeah, the loudest noise because they are getting held and it's not being called. Jim says they have court scheduled in January in Green Bay. The whole picture Gate Favre controversy is going again. He's being sued for food stamps. Hey, good job, Jim. You came up with something a little more original. I'm proud of you, bud. I'm proud of you. Now let's make sure we put in our notes that we used that one, and let's not use it again. Jags or Texans will beat the Broncos. Maybe the Texans, not the Jags. In the AFC, if the Bills can't get to the Super Bowl, they need to strip it to bear to the gristle. I don't know, man. The Bears I may agree with Buck. They may just never make it. Jim says, and who idolizes a quarterback that can't spell his own last name? It's Farve. I mean, I didn't watch ball when Favre was around, dog. I started with A-Rod. But that's all right. No worries, Jim. You're going to get there, baby. One of these days, you're going to hit me with a zinger. And I'm gonna make a point to let everybody know that you hit me with a good zinger. But until that day, just sit back and enjoy the show, baby. Sit back and enjoy the show. Sanders has 300-yard game this season and May doesn't. Yep, well. When you got to throw 70 times a game, you're probably going to throw 300 yards. Drake May's got a great running back. All right, let's move on. Let's move on, Man Our Nation, to our next segment. Our next segment I'm excited about. I want to tell you about the top 3 matchups I'm excited to see this week. So let's jump right into it. This week we got 3 games that I'm a little bit stoked about. All right, so let's talk about it. We're in the thick of December, and every game from here on out is playoff atmosphere unless you're the Kansas City Chiefs. Forget the pretenders. This is where the true contenders solidify their spot. I've scoured the Week 15 schedule, and I'm going to bring you my top 3 must-watch matchups. We're going to start at number 3. And this is the NFC West decider, the Lions at the Rams. The Lions at the Rams. Starting off at the 3rd must-watch game, a game everyone should be on the lookout for. It's at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a showdown in Los Angeles. The Detroit Lions facing the NFC juggernaut in the L.A. Rams. All right. Here's the stakes. The game's all about the NFC playoff race. The Rams, 10-3. The Lions, 8-5. The Rams battling for a number 1 seed. The Lions trying to stay alive with playoff wild card hopes. Boom. Big thing coming. The quarterback revenge narrative. This is always fun. The return of the trade. You got Matthew Stafford versus Jared Goff. Stafford, now with the Rams, has been on absolute tear, playing some of his best football of his career. Goff, meanwhile, is trying to prove he can lead a winning team in the playoffs. It's crazy. Why? It's number 3. When these two teams meet, it's always going to be a high-scoring barn burner, baby. Last 2 matchups were decided by a total of not 2, not 3, but 4 points. With 2 potent offenses and immense playoff pressure, I expect this to be a classic shootout. This game has star power potential. It's got playoff implications written all over it and a quarterback history to make it one of the best matchups in Week 15. All right. My second, coming in at number 2, we're going to go to the AFC East title fight with the Bills at Foxborough with the New England Patriots at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a huge showdown with massive playoff implications. The Buffalo Bills traveling to Foxborough take on the New England Patriots and Drake May. What's at stake here? Well, the Pats are incredible at 11-2. They're holding the top AFC seed, playing for the AFC East title for the first time since Tom Brady was gone, which they can officially clinch with a win against the Bills. But standing in their way is the 9-4 Bills, where Josh Allen can put on some heroics that nobody can expect. They've been hot, and they got Josh Allen, who's determined to prove the division still runs through him. It's going to be a battle. This is a classic game of offense versus defense. Can Josh Allen and the Bills' aerial attacks solve that Mike Vrabel Patriots defense, which is missing a few key players, but has still been dominant? The first time they met, the Patriots defense completely, and I mean completely, shut down Buffalo. Daggone. Here's the vibe, man. It's physical. Cold weather game between 2 bitter rivals. It's for the division crown, and it'll set the tone for the entire AFC playoff bracket. It's a must-win for the Bills to keep pace and a statement game for the New England Patriots and rookie quarterback Drake May. I'm taking the New England Patriots. They're going to ground and pound it, all right? And they're going to get it done. They're going to get it done, dog. All right, let's move on to my number 1 game. Number 1 game, ladies and gents, this week for you to watch. Maybe not you. but it's the number one I'm watching. You guessed it right. It's a quarterback duel at Mile High with the Packers traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos at 4:25 Eastern Standard Time. This is my most anticipated game, and it takes us to the high altitude of Denver. What's at stake? What's at stake? The Broncos are currently AFC's number one seed. The Packers are right in the thick of the NFC North and overall NFC playoff picture at 9-3-1. This is a non-conference clash, but it carries massive tiebreaker implications for both teams and overall conference seeding. The loser is going to take a major hit to their hopes for a first-round bye. Here's the battle, and this is why I'm most excited. You've got a matchup of rising stars and quarterbacks Jordan Love and Bo Nix. Both have been incredibly efficient and clutch this season, but the main story here is Green Bay's balanced. Top 10 offense going up against the Broncos' stellar league-leading defense. Like I told you during my Rams-Broncos jab. I'm excited, man. Top 5 offense, top 5 defense. Go toe to toe. The question is this. Can Denver's defense, the strength of this team, force Jordan Love into mistakes and protect their home turf? Or will the Packers' offense be the unit that finally exposes the one-dimensional nature of the Broncos' run-heavy attack? Guys, this game has Game of the Week potential all over it. But I want to hear from you, Man Our Nation. Which matchup are you most looking forward to? Don't forget, subscribe, hit that like button. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/manhour. Go ahead, join the conversation. Drop your comments below. It's a live, interactive show. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh. Buck says Bills are hot. Like a hot team? Like you find them attractive? You going to expound? Can New England do to Buffalo what Denver did to KC? Lico, I'm not sure. It took Superman to beat the Bengals without Trey. Jim says, I'd rather stay at a hotel on exit 1 to Gary, Indiana than to say the Pats were good. Woo! That's tough. I ain't going by Gary. No thanks. Will they be one and done? Yes. But right now they are good. We'll see. We'll see. Lico, Broncos won't sweep the Chiefs. Licklow, however you say your name. Green Bay cannot win this game. Love will get folded. That's what y'all said about the Bears. Y'all worried about their defense, and guess what? My boy went crazy. Here's the deal. If you didn't know it, Licklow, Jordan Love is the top quarterback, the number one against the blitz this year. So go ahead. Do your thing. Vic Fangio is a dog, though. I'll give him that. Vic Fangio is a dog, though. I'll give him that. Could be a trap game, but I would call last week's a trap game, Buck. He says classic trap game for the Packers. We'll see. We'll see, baby. We will see. Holler at me at 4:45 when I can tell what the way the game's going. Who else is a dog? Broncos, dog water. Ooh. I just need Bo Nix to do good because I got rookie sports cards of them, man. They got to go up in value, Buck. If they don't go up in value, I can't sell them. Bet you didn't think about that, did you? Probably didn't. Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness. All right, we're about to go into another segment that I like to do with you guys here, and it is simple. We should never have got cards, so that's on you. It is called Overreaction, ladies and gentlemen. So sit back, grab a drink, and relax as we get ready to get into Overreaction. All right. That is right. You see him up there. Let's jump right into it. I hollered at Buck last night. I wasn't able to get on the stream, all right? I wasn't able to get on the stream last night. I was at where was I at last night? Ball game? It was Monday. Yeah, I was at a ball game running concessions. Oh, my goodness. And I hit Buck up. I said, dog, Phillip Rivers is signing to the practice squad of the Colts. And he's like, I thought somebody was trolling. I am going to give you, ladies and gentlemen, what you are going to think is an overreaction probably. You're going to have to tell me, though. Phillip Rivers, drumroll please, is taking the Colts to the Super Bowl. Woo! 44-year-old Phillip Rivers is back with the Indianapolis Colts, signed to the practice squad after a season-ending injury to Daniel Jones. And you know what? The entire league is saying, oh, this is a desperate move, a heartwarming story, maybe a Hall of Fame footnote. And I say, wrong. This ain't just about salvaging a season, baby. This is final. This is a perfect chapter that Phillip Rivers has waited 17 years and 17 kids for. Rivers is not here to be a scout team quarterback. Nah. Rivers is here to take the Indianapolis Colts to the bowl. And let me tell you why I believe this is destiny and a run in the making. They got the right infrastructure then, and they got the right infrastructure now. People forget how good the 2020 Colts team was when Phillip Rivers led them to an 11-5 record. And the core reasons they succeeded are all still there, and may I argue, even a little better. The offensive line, all right? Rivers thrives behind massive, clean pocket, and that's what they had in 2020. He had Quentin Nelson and Ryan Kelly leading one of the league's best lines, and guess what? They're still there, dog. They're still elite, and they can give Rivers time to operate. They got weapons. He had a rookie, JT, in 2020. That rookie is now a veteran. 6 foot tall, 226-pound weapon who is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Rivers excels with a strong run game, and no one benefits more than a run action than Phillip freaking Rivers. And then there's the coaching link, because Rivers spent 6 seasons with Shane Steichen when Steichen was an assistant with the Chargers organization. They speak the same language. There's no learning curve, and there's only a quick tune-up. Rivers can step in and run this offense immediately. But let's talk about the clutch factor. Let's talk about it. Because the Colts are sitting at 8-5. Firmly in the AFC wildcard hunt, but they've lost 3 straight. They need a stabilizer. They need a voice. They need a leader who's absolutely unflappable in the face of pressure. Bop, bop, bop. In comes the wheelchair. In stands up with his walker, Phillip Rivers. He's got 17 years of experience in every possible scenario. He's the master of the quick rhythmic pass game that will negate the pass rush. He's the anti-hero, the grandfather who comes off the couch to deliver that perfect clutch pass on 3rd down. He's not going to win with his legs. He's going to win with his mind, with his mouth, and with that fiery competitive spirit. This team just got a massive jolt of veteran adrenaline. This team is built on a running defense, and Rivers is that perfect point guard quarterback to manage the game and prevent mistakes that have plagued the Colts recently. But here's the grand finale. Here's the icing and the candle on the cake. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, y'all. The dude's 44 years old. The conditioning is a question mark. His first game could be a rough one against the Seahawks defense that is playing great football. But for a man who has every major passing stat and a Hall of Fame resume, the one thing missing is that ring, dog. Is that ring, all right? Rivers wasn't happy with how that 2020 run ended. Losing a close wildcard game to the Bills, he literally announced his retirement shortly after. It's a second chance at destiny. A late season underdog run, the oldest player in the NFL taking a team that was counted out on his back. Woo! That's a Hollywood script. I'm calling my shot right now. Phillip Rivers stabilizes the ship. The Colts look up a wild card spot with the pressure off. His veteran composure and that powerful run game carried him all the way to the AFC Championship game and beyond. So here's the deal. Give me the veteran. Give me the grit. Give me the fire. Phillip Rivers is getting his Super Bowl ring this year, and it's going to happen in the one, the only, Indianapolis. But you tell me. Am I overreacting? You tell me in the chat. Am I overreacting? Let's see. Jim Cole says Duke can work a straw. Thank you. Thank you. I like my water. What can I say, Jim? Thank you very much. Licklow said they're really going to roll him out there and stop this dialogue right now. They are going to roll him out there in a wheelchair. Man's going to stand up in his walker and throw a 70-yard dot to Michael Pittman Jr. Buck says, why not see what you have in your rookie? You're going to need him next year. Yeah. Or you could roll with Anthony Richardson. We'll talk about that a little later on in the show. Jim says Rivers is still pissed about never winning the big one. Brady wasn't young. Yeah. But that's apples and oranges, dog. Brady and Rivers is apples and oranges. Buck says Colts make the playoff. He loses again and has another kid. Sheesh, that's like number 18, dog. Man's getting tax credit out the wazoo. I'll give you a vet, just not a grandpa. Yeah, go get Colin Kaepernick. Go get Colin Kaepernick. That's gonna stir somebody's pot. That's gonna ruffle some feathers. Go get Kaepernick, baby. Let's move on. Let's move on to my next overreaction. And we're going to stick with the Colts. Because we talked about the return of Phillip Rivers, but that move only happened because of the devastating season-ending Achilles tear suffered by Daniel Jones this past weekend. All right? Daniel Jones this past weekend tore his Achilles, if you did not know. Now, Jones was having a career resurgence with the Colts. He had an impressive 8-4 record as a starter, was set to be one of the top free agent quarterbacks entering into the postseason this year, and likely would have cashed in on a massive multi-year deal with Indianapolis. But that Achilles injury changes everything, and here's what I'm telling you right now. Daniel Jones will not be a part of the Indianapolis Colts organization next year. Here are the 3 cold, hard reasons the Colts will let this dude walk, making him an unrestricted free agent in 2026. It's a business decision. The timing of the injury is disastrous for Daniel Jones. He signed a 1-year, $14 million with the Colts. He was playing for a massive payday and doing so well. Potentially $30 million plus on average. And then he tore his Achilles in one of the most difficult and lengthy recoveries for an athlete, especially for a quarterback whose mobility is a key part of his game. Jones will be rehabbing the entire free agency period in March. Teams will be forced to commit massive guaranteed money to him based off of optimistic recovery, not based on seeing him in uniform. I want you to look at the last big name who suffered a major Achilles injury and still got a big contract. He goes by that name, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins got $100 million, fully guaranteed from the Falcons a couple years ago. How's that worked out? Teams are going to be extremely gun-shy about getting huge money on a 28-year-old quarterback coming off a major lower leg injury. Oh, don't forget, the man had a fractured fibula too. On the other leg. Dude was broken on both legs. The Colts cannot afford to make a multi-year big money commitment to an injured player when they have other options such as Riley Leonard and Anthony One-Eyed Richardson. Finally, the Colts have no leverage to keep this dude. Jones is on an expiring 1-year deal, and he's scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent. The Colts could use the franchise tag on him if he was healthy, but he's not. Why would you put a $40 million franchise tag on him when he's not healthy? He's not going to be ready for training camp, and he could be an issue for the entire 2026 season. So they're going to allow Jones to test the market. Okay, he's going to find the best contract, and whoever's desperate and needs him the most will use him. It's not going to be the Colts because they've got Richardson, they've got Phillip Rivers, and they've got Riley Leonard. The injury has dashed the chances of an easy re-signing with Jones. You know that. I know that. But it's also exciting for teams like the Seahawks, Jets, or Saints who could go for this quarterback. Could. But I want to hear from you. NFL, Man Our Nation, what do you think? Is Daniel Jones going to be an Indianapolis Colt next year? Is he? Buck says this reminds me of excuse me, goodness. This reminds me of Carson Wentz, his MVP year. Insert Nick Foles, a Super Bowl run, and then Wentz, who Yeah. So you saying Phillip Rivers winning that bowl, baby? Is that what you're telling me, Buck? He going to be the underdog. He going to have the story. Licklow says, what's crazy is he stopped running and ended up injuring both of his legs. He did. Fractured fibula on the right one and tore his Achilles on the left one, if I remember correctly. Buck says, most of these injuries happen because your body changes the way that you adjust to it. Colts wanted to use him and abuse him, and it cost Jones. Let the white man run. Let him frolic. Buck says he goes back to New York. Licklow agrees. He says he goes to the Jets. Jim says Raiders going to Raider and pick up Jones. Dog, I don't know. But I tell you this much. I don't think it's an overreaction. I think we will see Daniel Jones in a different uniform come next year. I think he will get a massive contract, and he will be in a different uniform. Whether that's New York, whether that's Vegas, I'm not sure. Let's move on to our next and last overreaction. And that's the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals. Let's talk about them for a second. Their season, he does have crazy eyes. You were right. Buck says he's got crazy eyes. Yeah, dude's kind of scary looking. This season has been brutal, all right, to say the least. Injury-ridden, and it's been a disappointment, largely due to Joe Burrow's grade 3 turf toe, which I've heard is extremely painful. Never experienced it, but I have heard it is extremely painful. It's cost them the entire heart of their season, but let's look past this year. Let's look past this year's records. The Bengals will be absolutely dangerous next season. And it comes down to 2 reasons. The quarterback return. It all starts with Joe, that dude Burrow. All right, he came back for a brief, valiant attempt on Thanksgiving against the Ravens, who I said had that game in a bag, and he whooped on them. But the season is largely a wash for him. It means that $48 million question, the franchise quarterback, gets a full, healthy offseason to recover and reset. He'll be 100% heading into training camp, back with a chip on his shoulder after a loss this year. A healthy Burrow immediately elevates the team from AFC bottom feeder to Super Bowl contenders. You can't overlook that kind of gravitational pull he has on offense, y'all. Second, the elite core is still intact, all right? Unlike other teams who face tough salary cap decisions, the Bengals have their championship nucleus locked up long term. Jamar and T are both under contract, forming the most explosive receiver duo in the league. Burrow is signed through 2029. The offensive line is stabilized and will be even better next year. Yes, we have questions of whether Trey Hendrickson is going to be on defense. I don't know. He could or he couldn't. But do we think Trey's going to make that big of a difference? The defense sucks anyways. They're cheeks anyhow. So, I don't know. They have the talent. They have the scheme, and most importantly, they have motivation. This lost season is going to fuel them. Expect the Bengals to come out next year with fire, a clean slate, and a healthy franchise quarterback, ready to claim the AFC North title. They are not a team anybody will want to face in the year 2026. But don't forget, I want to hear from you, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. So subscribe, hit that like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at youtube.com/man hour. It's a live interactive show, so jump in the comments, share your thoughts. I'm going to jump into them right now with you. Buck says Trey is gone. Burrow is glass. Might as well trade Chase to KC and rebuild. This dude right here wants every good player to go to KC. He's like, oh, you might as well trade him to Kansas City. Said the same thing when the Packers traded Jair to the Ravens, which ended up, he dodged the bullet because Jair ain't probably ever going to play another snap of football. Oh, they just need to trade him back to KC. He said it about Tyreek and the Dolphins. Oh, you're just going to better trade him back to KC. Now we're saying about Jamar Chase. Oh, you better trade him to KC. Shut up, man. Shut up, Buck. I'm tired of hearing it. Ain't nobody trading nobody to KC. Buck says defense wins championships and since he has none. Agreed. Licklow says a healthy Burrow. You trolling right now. Probably. So we overreacting. Is that what we're saying? We're overreacting. Come out with fire and ready to win until they start 0-2 again. All right. I got you. We overreacted on that one. Overreacted. I hear you. But ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go into the last segment of our show tonight that we here at Man Hour like to call Fact or Crap. right. Look, I know this is going to be a tough take, especially for you Colts fans, but we got to be real about the situation at hand with the quarterback, Anthony Richardson. He was the number 4 overall pick in the 2023 draft, a freak athlete that I love coming out with freak potential and all of it in the whole wide world, yet as we sit here in December of 2025. As we sit here in 2025, his status is more than just uncertain. It's actually kind of alarming. And that's why I have to say Anthony Richardson, AR, will never play another snap in the National Football League. You got to tell me, is that facts or crap? And it comes down to a perfect storm of 3 major issues, so let's jump right into it. Y'all want to say Burrow's made of glass? Nah, this dude, he's made of glass. As a rookie, he had a season-ending AC joint injury in his shoulder. All right? This year, it's highly unusual and serious orbital fracture suffered in a freak accident with a resistance band. What the heck? Dude's doing workouts with a resistance band, snaps back, hits himself, fractures his orbital socket, whatever that is right there, man, which left his vision and return clearance completely uncertain. This isn't about if he can play. It's about the fact that he cannot stay on the field. The wear and tear on his body, the thing that made him a top 5 pick, his athleticism, it's proven to be his own liability. NFL teams cannot invest a franchise's future in a player who simply cannot avoid the IR list. The second is this, the unseen medical concern. The orbital fracture is the ultimate red flag. This isn't a sprained ankle. It's a serious injury involving the eye socket, ladies and gentlemen. As of right now, the Colts have been unable to clear him for return to football activities. Even with Daniel Jones and now potentially Riley Leonard injured, the coach has stated they are waiting for clearance because full vision in the eye is paramount. In the NFL, where you need split-second processing and peripheral awareness, any lingering visual issues is going to be critical and a career killer for Anthony Richardson, especially for somebody who's running. The fact of the matter is this, the team is so non-committal about his return means that they already know that they're moving on. He's on a 4-year rookie deal, but the Colts have to decide on a 5th-year option after next season. Here's the deal. How do you commit over $20 million fully guaranteed to a player who spent more time in a team's doctor's office and in the blue tent than on the practice field? With the team now signing Rivers and their focus being on 2026 free agency class to replace the injured Daniel Jones, Richardson becomes expendable. The team can cut their losses, move on from the high-risk gamble, and invest in a healthy and reliable action. The injuries are too frequent, too serious, and too focused on critical areas of his body. AR, incredible talent, will remain an NFL what-if, a player whose career tragically ended before it could ever truly begin. But I want to hear from you, Man Our Nation. What do you think? Is that fact? Or is it crap? Buck says, crap. He said he's heading to Miami, dog. He's going to be a South Beach rapper, then become a top 10 quarterback. Like my boy Justin Fields. Top 10 quarterback. Maybe not a South Beach rapper. Top 10 quarterback. Licklow says he got 1 season left. With the Colts? I'd argue it's not with the Colts. Who's he got 1 more season left with? Licklow? Who in the world is going to sign this liability? Because it's not going to be the Indianapolis Colts. They went out and got Father Time. So tell me, who is going to sign this man? Buck said, nah. Nah. Let's keep moving on. Ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk about... Hold on. Ba-da-ba. There we go. I want to talk about the Colts again. Because the Colts are an 8-5 football team sitting just outside the AFC playoff picture, and their season is officially on life support. Y'all brought in a 44-year-old quarterback, all right? And they have this quarterback depth catastrophe that could have and absolutely should have been avoided in the offseason. And not even in the offseason, during the season, during trade deadline. This isn't just bad luck. This is a failure in roster management by the front office with the most important position on the field. The Colts entered this season with 2 glaring issues, high-risk quarterbacks. They had Anthony Richardson, the former first-round pick, who is a high upside gamble with a history of injuries even before season-ending shoulder and orbital fracture issues hit. They knew about his injuries, and they still said, all right, let's go get him. Then they signed Daniel Jones to a one-year deal, prove-it deal, a quarterback known for his toughness, but also his own injury history, including a fractured fibula this season. He was wearing a cast that his buddy made that enabled him, allowed him to continue to play the game of football. So when you start the season with two quarterbacks who have these substantial health issues, chat, you have to ask yourself, do we have an experienced, reliable third option? And the answer is no, they did not. They choose to roll the dice. Now they're paying ultimate with both those quarterbacks on IR. Their biggest mistake was not going after somebody when Anthony Richardson got injured in mid-October. All right, he suffered a fractured orbital bone, putting him out indefinitely. At that point, the Colts were 7-1. They looked like world beaters. Nobody's going to stop them. They were riding high on Daniel Jones' MVP-level play and felt the roster could do no wrongs. They had rookie Riley Leonard, the 6th-round pick, and Brett Ripien on the practice squad as their only other options. They knew they could use some help. This would have been time to use trade capital, maybe with Anthony Richardson, and go get a veteran like Joe Flacco, like Jacoby Brissett, like Teddy Bridgewater, like Justin Fields, someone who could win a game against a solid opponent. Instead, they stood still, they chilled out, they let the trade deadline pass, and did not add the crucial insurance policy. And guess what? It's panic mode now. Y'all are paying for it. Now Jones is out with a torn Achilles. Riley Leonard is also dealing with a knee strain. The Colts are in a state of utter desperation. And so in comes the signing they did yesterday to Phillip Rivers, 44 years old, to their practice squad, who has not played a snap of football in 5 years. The Rivers Hail Mary is a direct indictment of the front office's decision-making in the early and middle parts of the season. They gambled their playoff future on the health of two vulnerable quarterbacks. And guess what? They lost that bet, and now they face a 4-game stretch with a minimal quarterback talent, potentially throwing away a promising 8-5 season. This is a failure that will haunt them all the offseason and years to come. The video discussing the Colts quarterback depth chart being shockingly empty after Daniel Jones' injury isn't relevant because it outlines the precise issue of poor roster management. Here's the deal. The Colts screwed up. Fact or crap, chat? The Colts screwed up in not adding anybody in the offseason. You tell me. Buck says, crap, you got 4 quarterbacks on a roster. Had a quarterback one battle. They did everything right. Wasn't their fault 2 guys got hurt. It is their fault 2 guys got hurt, Buck. Because both those guys had injury issues. It may not be their fault that they got hurt, but it is their fault that they didn't add more insurance. So AR goes down. Sign somebody else. But instead, you have AR, who's hurt. You have Daniel Jones, who's starting. Then the only other backup you got is Riley Leonard, who now has a knee strain. What did you want them to do? Make a trade for what if something happens? Yes. Yes, I did. Put 4 quarterbacks on your roster. Or put somebody on your practice squad that's worth a crap. Yeah, let me take a trade for what if DJ gets hurt in week 14. This guy. What you got? Holler at me when the Colts make the playoffs. Holler at me. Holler at me. Or they'll make the Super Bowl. Lick low. They thought Jones was him. Ridiculous. Here's the deal. Jones was balling out of his freaking gourd, dog. Don't make this about how bad Daniel Jones is, because he proved me and a ton of other people wrong this year. And that's what Buck said. Jones was balling. We can't try to talk bad about it all. Facts was that he was MVP. Yeah. He was balling out, dude. Then they traded draft picks for Sauce, and he got hurt too. They did. Everybody, they need to go get a different trainer or something, dog. I agree with Buck. Sauce trade was dumb. He's so overrated. Buck says Colts won't make the playoffs. I told you we'll have a losing season. Yep, and you are right, my friend. You are right. But I want to get into my last segment here to close the night, ladies and gentlemen. One that I think our one and only Buck will enjoy. And it's this. The Dallas Cowboys, they're sitting at a disappointing 6-6-1. They're clinging on to the very edge of the playoff picture at the 10th position in the NFC. All right? Their playoff odds are currently terrible. Terrible, chat. They are currently And let me tell you, they are currently 6% by ESPN. Oh, excuse me, 8%. But that is exactly why the Cowboys are the ultimate sleeper team in the NFC. Why? Because the narrative has become too negative. The ingredients for a late season run are absolutely present. The Cowboys do best when the expectations are low and nobody's talking about them. Let's start with Dak Prescott. Despite the team's struggles, he is playing some of the best football of his freaking career under new head coach Brian Schottenheimer. He's leading the league in completions and is a top 5 quarterback in passing yards and passing touchdowns. All right? Dak has been forced to carry this team all season. All season. The defense can simply get back to being average, not even great, just average. This offense has the firepower with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens to score 30 points on anybody. When a sleeper team is led by a quarterback like Dak Prescott playing at a Pro Bowl level, whoo, they are instantly dangerous. Plus, they got a soft schedule run. And here's the key. Their loss to the Lions really did hurt. I'll give you that. But the path forward is one of the easiest remaining in the league. Dallas has one of the lowest remaining strength of schedules. All right, let's look at it. They've got the Minnesota Vikings, who are 5-8. They got the Chargers, who are 8-4, but it's a team that can be really inconsistent. They've got the Washington Commanders, who sit at 3-10, and the New York Giants, who are 2-11. If the Cowboys get hot and run the table, they could finish at 10-6-1 and absolutely have a path to a wild card spot, even if the shot at the NFC title is with the Eagles. With a soft final stretch, there is no excuse to not build off momentum. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me hear from you as we close up tonight. Fact or crap, do you think the Cowboys are the sleeper team? Buck says, fact, Cowboys are Super Bowl bound, baby. Said they win out, Eagles lose 2 more. Division is owned by Dallas. Whew. True words have never been spoken, Buck. Leclo said if they make J.J. McCarthy look like a real QB, I'm good. Yeah, J.J. got to get something figured out. We talked about that last week. The Vikings got to figure something out. Buck says struggles. Their defense is the best in the last 3 weeks minus the Lions game. This is me taking a page out of the Raiders book from Christmas Day 2 years ago, LOL. You did say that once Overshown came back, they was going to be balling out, and they have been balling out since Overshown has come back. Buck says Vikes trash. Chargers trash. Commanders trash. Oh, did I mention? Giants trash. Good thing it's trash day, baby, because the Cowboys is taking them out back, dog. I'm begging for the Eagles to stop struggling, says Licklow. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about them losing to the Raiders. Yeah, that's wild. That may be the game that throws it all over the edge. Philly may burn that day. All right? Let's just call it what it is. Philly may burn that day. If the Raiders lose, or if the Eagles lose to the Raiders, Philly may burn to the ground. We just need to be prepared for that, chat. You heard it here first from Man Hour that if Philly loses to the Raiders, Philly will be a pile of ash. Buck says Raiders will try to lose that game and end up winning by 20. Oh, my goodness. It's over. Rest in peace to the city of brotherly love. Get your Philly cheeses in while you still can because it's gone. It's gone. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I just want to take this time now to thank you for coming out here to Man Hour tonight. I want to take this time and tell you that I have loved every moment that we've got to spend here tonight with each other. I hope you guys have a blessed week. I hope that at the end of the day, your week only gets better and better. And I want you to know something. Us at Man Hour Nation, we're going to be rocking with you Monday through Friday. We got 3 more days, to rock with you guys this week. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We are live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at youtube.com/Man Hour. But ladies and gentlemen, from my house to yours, from my heart to yours, have a blessed night. And I hope that y'all know this. The Green Bay Packers are the best team in the NFL. Have a good night, y'all.